Hi there. My name's Jack Wallen. And, well, let's just say that what do you say? What can you say? I'm not going to get into politics because that's not what this is for. I think I'm fairly certain that you know my political leanings. How can you not? I'm an artist, and most artists that I know, I've actually only ever known one artist that leaned a different direction politically. So over the last, since yesterday, I guess. So I woke up yesterday morning and realized what had happened here in America. Of course, I started ruminating on how I can deal with it. And this is not about the idea of losing. No, it's not. This is really about protecting the vulnerable and the fragile, of which there are days when I feel like I am one of. But at the same time, I'm also a very resilient person. And yesterday, as I was thinking about this, I was utterly numb yesterday, profoundly numb. And I was surprised that I didn't get, I did get angry, but I was surprised at how short-lived the anger was. And I think it's because mostly it was usurped by the numbness. I would have moments of clarity and like, and then I would go back to being numb, and then it was numb, numb. You know what I'm talking about. But I spent a good deal of time yesterday trying to figure out how am I gonna navigate this world now. And I know that might be, you could be thinking, oh my gosh, why is he going on about this? It's not going to affect him. He's a straight white male. But here's the thing. I mean, yes, I'm straight. I have a wife. I love my wife. I adore my wife. We've been married for almost 20 years. But never in my life have I considered myself, well, I'm not normal. I'm far from normal. And so, but at the same time, I have some dear friends, some lovely, wonderful people who feel scared now, as if their life is in danger, and that they fear the politics and the systems, and a very large portion of the population will be coming for them with pitchforks and tiki torches. And my heart breaks for them. Because, like I said, they're wonderful people. And I think that is part of why I was so angry yesterday, is because wonderful, innocent people in America are now afraid to be here. And that shouldn't be the case. On the Statue of Liberty, it says, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses." We have been okay, I shouldn't say we have been. We promote ourselves as a country of freedom of expression. But some people seem to believe that that freedom of expression only applies to our voices, to our ability to say what we want. And that is very important, that we are able to speak our mind and not normally fear the consequences. But can we truly say that going forward, that we will be able to speak our mind without fearing the consequences? I can't say that for sure. But we're supposed to be the country of freedom and acceptance and pride in that acceptance. We were a country that began because immigrants came here from another country. Let me say that again. Immigrants came here from another country and started America. And then we came here and pretty much stole the land from the Native Americans. And I do kind of have a dog in that fight because my grandmother was a Native American. And she was a wonderful person. I remember one of my very first memory of her was we arrived, they lived in in Hazard County, Kentucky, in the hills. And as children, we arrive, because it was the only time we ever took a vacation, which was us driving from northern Indiana to here, to eastern Kentucky, to visit my mother's parents. And I remember walking into my grandparents' kitchen and through the back door to see my grandmother chopping a chicken's head off. I'd never seen anything like that. And it disturbed me. But that was their way of life. And I remember my grandmother, she always wore her hair up in a bun, and she took it down one day and it fell to the ground because she never had a haircut. America was built on the backs of immigrants and slaves. And how have we treated them? Think about it. How has this country treated the vulnerable? Can you answer that question with any level of pride? Think about it. The homeless, the marginalized, the minority, the immigrant. Anybody that doesn't look like you or me. Anybody that doesn't think or behave or dress. There's so much hypocrisy and double standards. And they cut deep. Double standards. Let's think about this. Let's go on a very superficial level. Not really. Not to me. It's not superficial, but so there are people out there in this country that mock, humiliate, and even torment artists. Anyone that has a degree, they went to school to study the arts, or the liberal arts, or anything that isn't business or science. They are looked at as substandard. Like, we don't matter. I mean, what do we have to offer the world? And those same people that look at us with scorn and derision, they go home from work, and as they're driving, they're listening to music. When they get home, they eat their dinner, they may get some exercise, and they sit down in front of a TV and watch television. Nothing wrong with that. I do it. But here's the double standard, the irony, that they have spent their day deriding artists, and yet they depend on them for their entertainment. It's like a racist watching the NFL. How do you square that in your mind? Art is important. And I don't just mean that in a way that we're here to teach you or whatever. Art makes life worth living. Art makes the daily grind a little less grindy. Art allows you to kind of disappear from your daily struggles and dive in deep into the world of some fictional reality. So you can, for an hour or two, just exist and probably laugh, cry, enjoy, whatever. And those same people will watch television, they'll go to bed, they'll wake up the next morning, they'll go to work, and they'll do the same thing. They'll mock and deride the artists. They'll treat us as if we have no value. And I'm here to tell you right now that we artists of all sorts, of musicians, writers, actors, dancers, directors, sculptors, painters, you name it. We have far more value than you attribute to us because we make your life better. And yeah, we may be weird. I may dress in a way that confounds you and makes you angry because I am testing the norms, testing gender norms and all of that. But I'm still a human being. Peel off this white skin and I'm just muscle and tendons and veins and arteries and bones and organs just like you. Just like everybody else out there. I am human. And the thing that I was born to do, be it acting or writing, makes your day better. And the same holds true for all artists out there. No matter how known or unknown. And whatever happens in the next 4 years, and you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then pay attention. Whatever happens in the next 4 years, I want you, if you happen to be on the other side of the political fence, or if you question anyone who ventures outside of the norm, who doesn't adhere to your definition of what being human, male, female, productive, whatever. We have value. To you, to everyone. And for the next 4 years, remind yourself of that. When you see somebody that looks a little different than you, when you see somebody that didn't choose the same professional path that you did, when you see somebody that doesn't exactly adhere to your definition of what being an adult is, when you see somebody who has something that's just different about them, give them some grace. Because in the end, we all just want to be ourselves. We all just want to be honest with ourselves. We all just want to be truthful to who we are. And we all just want to be happy. And we all just want to have a life with meaning and joy and fulfillment. And if you get your meaning from spreadsheets and business meetings and bottom line and all that, good for you. But if my meaning doesn't come from those things, then it is not your place to tell me where I should get my meaning from. It is not your place to tell me how to be or how to live my life. Or that I dress odd, that I don't conform to your norms. Because let me tell you something. Those of us who do not conform to the norms never will. We just want to be ourselves. And we want to be so in a world that accepts us. We artists want to give to you the gift of creativity so that your life is a little better, is a little more tolerable. So that when you come home from that long day at work, you can sit in front of a television and turn your mind off and laugh and cry and just enjoy something that we, artists, have created. And just remember, the next 4 years might be really easy for you, but it's not necessarily going to be easy for everyone. And during the previous 4 years, just remember, a lot of us didn't come at you. We didn't mock you. We didn't humiliate you. We didn't rub it in that our side won. We gave you grace. Maybe sometimes the grace didn't happen in abundance. Look, we all want the same thing. We all want our country and our loved ones to be wonderful. We all want to be able to live a life where we can just pay our bills and have money left over for whatever purpose We want to have peace and safety, security. We all want to live the American dream. But sadly, the American dream is no longer the same as it used to be. The American dream has become so fragmented that no one that I know of can actually define it in a common way. Ask yourself this: what is it to be American? What is it? What is it to be patriotic? The way I define patriotism is the willingness to give up something you deem important for the greater good. It's like this: property taxes. Our property taxes went up considerably. And our property taxes went up considerably because of the education tax for schools. I didn't complain about that. Why? Because education is important. And even though I have no kids, I have stepchildren, but none of them are in school. They're all grown up. And yet I don't complain about having to pay taxes for schools. Just like I don't complain about having to pay taxes for highways and infrastructure and the fire department, the police department, all those things that we truly depend on. It's just like so many people in this country, all they want is a tax cut. They don't want to pay the government. They don't want to pay the government a penny. But ask yourself this: how would the government function if we didn't pay taxes? How would the schools function if we didn't pay taxes? How would the roads ever get repaired if we didn't pay taxes? Would there be firemen, policemen, firefighters, police officers? Please accept my apology for that. Would there be those people if we didn't pay taxes? No, there would not. I'm very sorry. I needed to say all of this because my heart has been very heavy for the last 48 hours. And I worry about my safety. I worry about the safety of a lot of people that I love and care for. But I am still an American. I still believe in freedom of speech and expression. And I believe this country will continue if we protect it to allow those freedoms. But we all have to allow those freedoms. On another note, the final book in Violent Delight 6 is in the editing process. First round is complete, into the second round now. So, and Violent Delights 5, I believe, is either up for pre-order or is available to purchase now. You can find it on Amazon. And I am in the middle of writing my first ever true sci-fi novel. And I'm having a lot of fun with that. I have something else that's possibly in the works that is really, really cool. I can't talk about it right now because I don't know if it's actually going to happen. I'm going to meet with somebody next week and talk to them about it. But let me just say this. If it happens, if it truly happens, you might get to hear this once again. Are you ready? Are you ready? You're not ready. No, you're not ready for this. Are you ready? Okay. If it happens, you'll be able to once again hear, you're listening to WZMB Zombie Radio, your personal soundtrack to the end of the world. That's all I'm going to say about it. If you know, you know. Anyway, thank you for listening to this rant. I apologize if I offended anybody, but I needed to say it. I needed to get this off my chest. Hopefully these words may have given you some semblance of peace. If not, I truly hope that you find it. And if you need, reach out to me. I'm a safe space, obviously. And I hope that you and everyone you know and love have a wonderful, wonderful day.